morning, my dear students of class 7th. Myself Mohit Misra. Today we will discuss about the chapter number 6 and topic is Akbar the Great. Students, do you know Akbar? Akbar was the greatest ruler of Mughal Empire. Okay, Akbar was the greatest ruler of Mughal Empire. Akbar was born on 15th October 1542 CE in Amarkot, that is the area Sindh, to Mughal Emperor Humayun, and his mother's name Hamida Banu Begum and father's name is Humayun. Okay, soon after his birth, his parents went to Persia. His parents went to Persia to take refuge and build up the military strength to regain the throne of Delhi. When Humayun died, Muhammad Adil Shah, the ruler of Bengal and the successor of Sher Shah, tried to regain the control of the throne of Delhi. At that time, Akbar was in Punjab and was only 13 years old. Okay, उस समय केवल 13 साल का था. Under the able guidance of Bairam Khan, a faithful general of Humayun, Akbar was enthroned in Punjab in 1556 CE. Bairam Khan became the regent of Akbar. Regent क्या होता है बेटा? A person who exercised the ruling power during the minority of or absence of the legal ruler. ओके, कार्यवाहक रूलर बने. फिर क्या होता है बेटा? And took care of the administration till Akbar attained his age to rule independently. ओके, अब आती बारी सेकेंड बैटल ऑफ पानीपत. Among the many problems that Akbar faced immediately after his succession to the throne was the rising power of Hemu, the Prime Minister of Muhammad Adil Shah of Bengal. After the death of Humayun, Hemu marched towards Agra and captured it, and then captured Delhi. Akbar and his forces met Hemu at historical battlefield of Panipat in November 1556 CE. A fierce battle followed, and with the defeat of Hemu, the Mughal Empire re-established its claim on Agra and Delhi. This battle between the Mughal Emperor Akbar and Hemu, the Prime Minister of Bengal, came to be known as the Second Battle of Panipat. Okay, expansion of Akbar कैसे होता है? When Akbar attained his age of maturity, he took over the reins of the kingdom from Bairam Khan and concentrated on the consolidation of his empire. Conquest क्या होता है? He captured Malwa in 1561 CE and Gondwana in 1564 CE. He attacked Chittor, the capital of Mewar, in 1567 CE, and Mewar was finally annexed to the Mughal Empire in 1599 CE. In 1572 CE, Akbar with his troops reached Gujarat and conquered it. After Gujarat, in 1576 and 1580 CE, Bengal was annexed to the Mughal Empire. Kabul was annexed by Akbar after the death of ruler of Kabul, Hakim Mirza, in 1585 CE. In 1591, Akbar conquered Sindh. In 1595, he conquered Baluchistan and Kandahar. He also expanded to the Deccan and attacked Ahmednagar. and 1595 CE, Akbar himself marched toward Deccan and conquered Burhanpur, the capital of Khandes, the fort of Asirgarh, and sent Prince Danial to conquer Ahmednagar. Akbar organized these newly conquered territories into three subas, namely Ahmednagar, Berar, and Khanades. Okay. नेक्स्ट हेडिंग आती है आपकी अलायंसेस विद द राजपूत्स. अकबर अडॉप्टेड ए पॉलिसी ऑफ कॉन्सिलेशंस विद राजपूत्स. अनलाइक विद हिज अदर एडवर्सीज, he did not annex the kingdom after defeating them, but remained satisfied if these Rajput kingdom accepted his suzerainty and paid tribute to him. He also made many matrimonial alliances with these kingdoms. He himself married with the eldest daughter of Raja Bihari Mal or Amber. The Rajput states which had matrimonial alliance with the Mughal emperor were given high rank in the courts, and Mughal emperors such as policy toward the Rajput allowed Akbar to win over one of the most aggressive and strong adversaries of the Mughal Empire. Okay. अब आती है अकबर्स religious policy. Akbar was not an orthodox Muslim and had lenient views towards other religions. In 1575 CE, he built a building called Ibadat Khana or the House of Worship. Here he used to hold discussions on religious matters and took great personal interest in these matters. Not only the ulamas and learned people of Islam were invited here, but peoples of different faiths such as Hinduism, Jainism, Christianity, Sikhism, Zoroastrianism were also invited. Akbar was interested in the view of other religions apart from Islam. He encouraged the social customs of other religions and participated in festivals such as Holi, Shivratri, and Raksha Bandhan. The discussion held by Akbar made him realize that religious scholars, who were bigots, often emphasized on the ritualistic aspect of religions that were dogmatic. Such beliefs were reason for disharmony among the subjects. Okay, students? Akbar decided to sign a document which made him the sole interpreter of Muslim law. He advocated idea of Sulh-e-Kul or universal peace. The theory behind this idea was tolerance and not to discriminate between the people of any religion in his realm. Okay? His theory focused on the universally accepted ethics of truth, honesty, justice, and peace. अब आती बात दीन ए इलाही. Akbar decided to incorporate his views about all religions into a composite religion, which would have a national character and be acceptable to both Hindus and Muslims. So he propounded a new religion, Deen-e-Ilahi, which propagated the belief in humanity and the presence of one God. Akbar declares himself as the spiritual guide of his subject. He declared that under the new religion, the subjects were free to worship symbols such as sun, star, or moon, all manifestation of one God. His religion, Deen-e-Ilahi, was the combination of all points of every religion and was based on mysticism, philosophy, and nature worship. It was not based on any dogma, recognized no gods, had no books or priest, or the emperor was the chief exponent of the religion. Under this religion, Akbar favored peace and tolerance and discouraged killing of animals, especially cow. He suggested that people should abstain from eating meat at least for a few days in week. He banned the practice of sati by Hindus. The member of this new faith greeted each other with Allahu Akbar, which means God is great. These members were ordered by Akbar to celebrate their own birthday by giving a feast and abstaining from eating meat during that month. He took some special steps like abolishing jizya tax, a tax levied on Hindu subjects in a Muslim country. He also abolished taxes of religious pilgrimage on Hindu. He appointed officials in his court on the basis of merit, irrespective of their caste or religion. Many Hindu nobles were given position of prestige in his court. Okay, students. So this is all about today's topic. We will discuss you later in next video. Till then, bye bye, students.